Hello everyone, and welcome to Porterhouse Skyrim Mod Reviews. I'm your host Porterhouse, and that's no bull. Hello there everyone, I'm back. Now, I know it has been a really long time, and I do feel really bad about not doing anything channel-wise. Well, let me explain real quick. Now, as you know, the COVID thing has been screwing up everything everywhere, and everyone has to practice social distancing, so video conferencing has become a huge deal. Well, guess what I do for a living? Now, I have been working extra hours setting up sort of mini studios in people's offices and at homes, and I've been setting up larger studios for people to use for various reasons. Well, on top of that, the company I work for supports 2 school districts, and so we have been setting up all of the classrooms so the teachers can go to their classrooms and teach from there to the students at home. Now, speaking of the students at home, my company also provided and, in fact, configured over 18,000 laptops for the students to take home. So, long story short, I have been bushed. We brought on a lot of extra people at work. Most of them are temps, sadly. Some of them are quite good, and I had to spend a great deal of my time teaching them how to do the things that we do. So when I get home, I'm wiped out. I want to play games, and I do, but I honestly don't want to sit down and make a mod review or any other kind of video, because that, in short, has become sort of a second job for me. And I'm not going to lie, some of my larger videos took me 40 hours a piece to make, so it's another work week. So I'm sorry, I just didn't have the energy. Things have started to slow down a little, so I started poking around in the Nexus and other mod sites with a sharp stick, and suddenly, like a bolt of lightning from a clear blue sky, Kaufman 77 posted a mod up on the Nexus. So I went and took a look at it, and I liked it, and so now I'm going to review it. This is Dragonscale Bikini by Kaufman 77. Now, if Kaufman's name sounds familiar, that's because he is the absolute mad lad that did all of the CBBE HDT conversions and body slide files for Nisa Tanaka's series of fabulous bikini mods, the ones that he did. Well, Kaufman created something for himself that is indeed very Nisa-esque in both conception and its execution, and it was exactly the carrot I needed to get up off of my dead ass and get back into making videos. So enough jibber jabber, let's dive in and let's see what Kaufman has made for us. Now, when I took a look at the mod, I discovered that Kaufman had stayed true to the nature of Nisa's mods. Therefore, the main file for it is a 7B OPI body type, but also included are optional downloads for both CBBE and UUMP, so if you use either of those 2 body types, you are good to go. Now, there are some requirements for the mod, and that include the HDT physics extensions and the XP32 maximum skeleton, so make sure you have those installed and installed correctly before you try to load this one up. Now, the mod has an amazing total of 35 armor pieces plus the book. Now, these pieces include 3 ab pieces, 2 pairs of boots plus a pair of kicks, 2 thongs plus a C-string, 2 pairs of gauntlets, 1 circlet, a pair of gloves, 2 gorgets, a pair of leggings, a necklace, 3 pauldron sets, a choker, 3 types of tassets, 3 thigh armors, and 5 bikini tops. So you can see there's a lot to work with, and you can mix and match as you please, and I discovered that Nisa's dragon bone armor mixes quite well with this mod, so that opens up even more possibilities for a unique look. Now, to craft the armor, you will need 2 things. The first being the book, which is found on the Bone Strewn Quest. Now, if you don't know where that is, it's smack dab in the middle of Eastmarch, just west of Steam Crag Camp. The book is leaning up against a treasure chest that's up there at the top of the hill, and you can't miss it. But be sure to watch out for the dragon. Now, the second thing you're going to need is the Dragon Armor Smithing perk, so make sure your smithing is up to snuff for that. The materials needed to construct the armor, including, of course, dragon scales, leather strips, and iron ingots. You can then take the armor to the armor workbench and improve each piece at the cost of 1 dragon scale. Now, if you want to enchant the armor, I have great news. You can enchant every piece of this armor except for the necklace, so be sure to take it to an enchanting bench and knock yourself out. Now, usually at this point in armor mod reviews, I would show you some combat clips so you can see the armor in action, and I'm still going to do that, but while you watch those clips, you also get a very special surprise. Kaufman77 has agreed to a recorded interview, so I had gone out on Twitter and a few other places to solicit questions from people, basically what they wanted to ask Kaufman. Now, I got back quite a bit of feedback, and Kaufman is going to answer those questions along with a few of my own. Now, I decided to combine the interview with the fighting clips mostly for the sake of brevity in the video. Now, I will warn you that this is my first time ever doing an interview of this type, and it kind of turned into a casual chat that I had to edit pretty heavily to fit within the confines of the mod review. So, in short, it might sound a little bit disjointed. Like I said, first time I've ever tried to do this. Now, the conversation actually turned out to be quite fun for the both of us, so let's get to it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview and the clips. Before we get into the questions, I am actually kind of curious. How old are you?
I am currently 37 years of age.
Okay, so you're not a youngster.
No. Although I've been known to radiate an air of youth, and I've often been confused, even to this day, being confused for that of a youngster. Well, I just have that energy.
Yeah, and I get the same thing until people actually meet me, and they're like, wow, you're an old man. So, yeah, I'm 52, so. I kind of figured you were up there at least a little bit, because I remember when Rosa came out years and years ago now.
Ooh, oh man.
So, yeah, I think what first called attention to her and you was MXR's review of her. Like,
oh god, I remember that.
Back when he was still a teenager, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was covering my face the whole time that review went on. I just felt so embarrassed because I'm not used to that kind of attention, because I have to be perfectly honest. I did not expect Rosa to receive that kind of attention, to blow up the way she did. It was just, I mean, she's just another vanilla follower. Well, I had some help making her, but still, I mean, I didn't expect that.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as calling her a vanilla follower, but yeah.
I mean, when you get down to it, when you get to the meat and bones of how the mod operates, I consider it vanilla in operation, not so much in looks, obviously, but definitely. And I get questions like, hey, when are you going to expand her? When are you going to give her a quest line? And yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to answer that, like, I don't know how to do those things. That is way beyond my pay grade. I specialize more in doing conversions. Obviously, if you see my conversion work in the Lovers Lab, you see I have like, God, I've lost count. I want to say close to 90 CBBE conversions.
Oh, easily, yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with the questions I solicited online.
Okay, and no problem.
Like I said, the majority of them came from Lover's Lab, which I thought was great. But okay, they were really open folks, and a lot of them are folks I know. Like, for instance, Agent Tex asks, "How do you make so many different options for clothing? It is so cool and lore friendly."
How? Well, when I first started, the whole thing started as a lark. It was just something I was just messing around with. I didn't really commit to the idea of making a bikini mod. But when I started messing around with some of the parts, I'm like, hey, this looks like something I might actually pull off. And then I started toying around with Outfit Studio some more, because this is how this outfit was made. I don't really have much in the way of 3D knowledge. I plan to change that soon. But how I came up with all these parts was basically I just thought, okay, how would Nisa Tanaka, my partner in crime, my idol, how would he do it? And then once he started once I started asking that question, I'm like, okay, maybe he would do it like this. But then I thought to myself, well, what if we do it like that, you know? Because one of the pieces I'm super proud of is the Georgette. I think it was the second one, the one with
the gorget with the slightly lower one.
Yeah, the slightly lower one. It's only slightly lower because of the neck weights. It's actually much taller as a model.
Oh.
But the paint weights make it seem lower than it really is, especially when you adjust the neck in the race menu.
Hey, now, see, I find that interesting because a lot of times I do not care for gorgets in most armor mods. The ones that cover the face. A lot of nieces are like that, and I either don't use them or use something else. But that one I really, really like.
Yeah, because I'm much in the same boat. I mean, I do like some Georgets. I just don't like them covering the face too much. You know, let me see some face. You know, at least let me see the eyes, nose at least. But yeah, as far as how I conceive the parts, which was all done on the fly, I did not have a plan going forward. This was all literally done off the seat of my pants, and it was fun, I admit. But as far as like conceiving, all I did was just think, okay, how Anissa can do this, but I also added my own rules. Just like, okay, maybe if I want to do it like this, and okay, that works out better. So yeah, basically.
So basically, it was a lot of experimentation on your part, and
yes,
it just started coming together. Nice.
That reminds me too. There were actually a few scrap designs I had to do. I had to. Because there were some parts that looked nice at first, but once I started toying them in game, it just didn't look right. So one of the thigh pieces was scrapped entirely, redone, and quite proud of how it turned out after. And I did alter one of the boots. It used to have 3 dragon plate panels, but I reduced it to 2, and it just made it to look so much more cohesive.
Nice. So the next question comes from Turd, T-I-R-D. He asks, "Are you the new Bikini Lord?"
No, I am not the new Bikini Lord. I am but a humble apprentice. I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps of my master in the hopes of grabbing his attention to bring him back to our graces.
If only.
If only. But I'm gonna try.
We'll talk
Lord
a little.
Help me, I'm gonna try.
We'll talk a little bit about that maybe when I'm not recording. Now, Mart0206 asks, "Were you able to get your hands on the glass bikini files Nisa Tanaka started working on quite some time ago, but then abandoned? He had posted some pics on social media, but I believe this was an early preview. Now, I have a copy of that I can share with you right now. As soon as I remember what window I had it in. There it is.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah,
as soon as he said it, I remembered what because he sent that to me. Nisa Tanaka sent that to me on. I want to say it was on Tumblr. It might have been on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about. Unfortunately, no. I would have loved to have had them. Excuse me, worked my magic in of course, providing a conversion for it.
Well, and that's
definitely no.
Now see, that's because I think he sent that to me, but I think he did it on. I think he sent it to me. It was a very early copy, but I think he sent it to me on Tumblr, and of course, Tumblr did its thing, and prior to them freaking out, I went through and deleted everything I could think of that looked questionable. And they shut me down anyway. And I tried like hell to get back because I had all kinds of information, and not just from Nisa, but from other mod makers and links and stuff like that. And I was so angry.
I'm still angry about that to this day myself. There was a lot of great content there before Tumblr took a more, I would say, Christian route.
Well, they paid for that in the end, so
yeah.
Wow, that didn't sound like an evil laugh at all. Now,
totally.
So J Ohms, Agent Tex, and Deso 561P1 asks, Daedric bikini armor when?
Oh, that's the thing. I've been getting well, not a lot, but it certainly feels like a lot. I've been getting quite a few requests, PMs about, hey, could you do this particular bikini mod? Hey, could you do that particular? The thing is, and I know this is probably going to break a few people's hearts, is just the thing about me is I am very, very picky about what I want to do next. Because right now, my immediate plans isn't to follow up with a new mod, but rather to fix up some old stuff. Like Taboa, because I've been seeing a few comics on the Nexus and on the lab about, hey, this thing's kind of old, maybe you can fix it up, and that's currently where I'm leaning. But it's not to say that I don't have interest in doing those things. It's just I have to feel motivated enough to want to do it, because if I do something I don't really want to do, I'm going to do it half-hearted. It's going to come out sloppy, and no one's going to want that. And I'm sure people will love it regardless, but not me. Like I said, when I commit to something, I commit to 100%. So when you get something from me, it's quality, and that's what I'm all about. Because if you've seen my conversions, you know that everything doesn't really clip. Everything's nice and straight. Even when you move the sliders around, I always make sure everything is correct. So if I'm going to move on to something else, I have to feel that it's correct for me to move on to. I just can't just do whatever they ask me to. I'm just selfishly picky that way.
All right, moving along. Now, this kind of ties in with the first one. Now, this is from Privateer Black. He is on my Discord server, and he asked, what kind of bikini armors do you plan on making, if any? Now, I would like to alter that question a little bit. Is there any particular bikini armor that tickles your fancy more than any other that you would like to create?
That's an interesting question. The thing is, I'm not going to completely answer that because, okay, one, I'm picky, and two, another thing is, if you haven't picked it up on already, I tend to be a little theatrical with my releases. Like, I like to surprise people because I didn't make any announcements that I was doing a bikini mod. No one knew until I practically blindsided everyone. Not as much as I hoped or wanted, to be honest, but I will admit there are some armors that do kind of tickle my fancy. But the thing is, I want to concentrate on armors no one really talks about or likes to wear. You know, everyone's saying do the Daedric, do the glass, but I'm thinking to myself, what about this armor in the background that no one really talks about? Why not give that one the treatment? If I were to oh, I'm sorry. So if I were to do that, oh man, okay, I lost my train of thought.
That was my fault. Sorry.
It's all good, dude. Still love ya. But yeah, okay. Last bit was I said I was theatrical, and basically I would focus on lesser known, lesser desired armors, give that the treatment. Because again, I want to surprise people. I want to be like, holy crap, he made a bikini outfit out of that? Wow. That's what I want to do.
And you would definitely be the person to pull that off. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're going to hear some typing because I need to look up a reference real quick while I'm talking to you.
Oh, no problem at all, dude. But before I go any further, I do want to learn a little Blender because everything I created was done, surprisingly, out of Outfit Studio. I know I can try and pull it off again, but it probably won't look as good because the only reason I was able to pull it off with the Dragonscale because it had so many separated parts for me to work with. And I even took some parts from the other bikini mods and made it into the Dragonscale. Oh. So if you look closely, you'll notice some parts are actually plucked from other bikini mods.
Oh, I was wondering about one of the bikini, well, a couple of the bikini tops actually.
Yeah.
Yep, kind of figured. But that's stock and trade to a lot of mod makers is having a base of resources they can pull from and then adopt for whatever they're working on currently.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I don't want to do it too much because one of the great things about Nisa Tanaka's work is every design, every item just it has that individuality about it. And I want to keep that to a minimum as best as I can because I'm not a master like him. Some say I am, but I thoroughly and completely disagree with that.
Well, I think you definitely have the potential. So that being said, how about Ancient Nord armor?
Ancient Nord armor?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll
see.
Throw that in the mix. I'm not asking.
No worries. You'll have to shake. The 8-ball says, future hazy. Try again.
And then finally, our last question that we have is also from Privateer Black. He asks, what inspired you to make such comprehensive and protective armor? Now, you have to understand, he sees a lot of stuff that I don't post to anybody else. So he's seen like all of the bits and pieces of all the armors that I've ever played with. Mainly because he likes my followers.
What inspired me to make such stuff? Well, well, I just thought it would look nice, basically.
Well, sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, just okay. This will look great like this, like that. Plus, much of the look from like some certain art pieces, and especially how I wear it on my character. If you've seen how my character wears stuff, because sometimes she wouldn't wear like certainly no bottoms, but sometimes no tops, and that sort of look is inspired by a little anime I like to call Angel Blade.
Really?
Yes, I'm a weeb too. In case it's figured out.
Yeah, yes. I can't say much. Now, yes. The questions I had is, okay, we've already talked about how old you are. Now, is Skyrim the first game that you ever created mods for?
Yes, I can absolutely answer that with 100% certainty. It was the first PC game I ever bought. Hell, it was the entire motivation for me to get into PC gaming in the first place, because a year before, because this is how I got into the whole thing. A year before, I was just browsing videos on GameStop. Well, this was around 2012. And then I see this video doing a review of like cool stuff they find on the internet, and one of them happened to cover a video. The video covered a segment on Oblivion mods. Oh, and wouldn't you know, the video in question showed off bouncing physics. Yeah, so I'm like, wait, PC gamers can do that? They have that now? And it looks so professional. It doesn't look all jank. I want that. And as I said way back in the beginning, when I commit to something, I commit to it 100%. So when I learned about all this stuff, I wanted to commit to getting a gaming PC, and not just any gaming PC, a high-quality, high-priced gaming machine. So for the next year, I saved up all my money I could, sold a bunch of junk I found in my parents' attics on eBay, which actually helped me quite a bit. And then a year later, I finally got it. This giant, big, boring-looking monolith. But good God, it's powerful. At least at the time.
I remember the tombstone cases, as we used to call them.
Tombstones.
So now I'm going to take it that Skyrim was probably the first game you ever actually modded, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I kind of figured.
And, yeah, I spent a whole year not just saving up, but also learning how the mods worked. How they installed, even on my crappy thing. I didn't buy the game yet. I just poked around, see what was interesting, and then that's basically how I got into it.
Yeah, strangely enough. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh yeah, and fun fact: it took me 2 weeks to conceive Rosa. 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. Because I wanted to get the look just right, and because I didn't know what I was doing.
So, speaking of other games, are you looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6?
Indeed I am. Very much so.
Yeah, well, I do have some concerns about its modability, and the reason for that is Bethesda has slowly been moving toward you shall not get your mods anywhere else but us.
Yeah, that's the thing that's definitely a concern of mine I have, because I'm an adult modder. I make adult mods, or at the very least, very risky stuff.
Right.
And I would hate to be shut out from sort of thing, because I'm just now learning to enjoy making these. I mean, I've always enjoyed it, but to actually make something this big and complex as a Dragonscale Bikini, I mean, and to be locked out of that, that's definitely a concern of mine.
Yeah, and this is something that I've postulated before, is that eventually they'll move toward that market, and I think that's why Fallout 76 is a thing, is that I think they wanted to try to use that as a test bed for controlling what mods were available for it.
Live services.
Yeah, exactly.
It ended many a good company's name.
Yep. Okay, so moving on. I noticed you were playing Warframe earlier. Is that
Yes.
what other games do you play?
Oh, I play quite a few. I play a lot of games. I'm excuse me. All right, let me collect myself because I do have to play a lot of games. One of my favorite games I'm also playing besides Warframe. It's a fun game, but just beware. If you're going to play Warframe, understand this. It has content as wide as this ocean, but at the depth as shallow as a puddle. Just put it out there.
Yeah, I've heard some similar sentiments from other people that play Warframe. It's part of the reason I don't play it. I'm a Destiny 2 player myself, so...
I've actually been kind of curious about Destiny. I mean, it looks fun. I mean, it's made by Bungie, so yeah. And another game plays Halo. I recently got the Halo Master Chief Collection for my birthday, which was back at the 20th of September. Yay me! But yeah, fun game. I'm also into. I'm an old school gamer through and through. As much as I enjoy, Skyrim, Warframe, Halo, I'm an old school gamer that enjoys. Have you ever heard of bullet hells?
Rings a bell.
Basically, you played Space Invaders, right?
Yes.
Okay, basically, it's the best way I can describe it is Space Invaders on steroids, jacked up on coke. You're basically showered with bullet waves and waves of bullets, and I just love those types of games. I love dodging and weaving through dense bullet patterns. I'm not the greatest bullet hell player, but I enjoy those a lot because back in the day I used to play 2D shooters. Basically games like how you remember Space Invaders and Galaga.
Right.
So I enjoy those a lot. And one shooter I'm playing, not the 2D or not the 3D shooter, with the guns and whatnot. One of the retro games I do enjoy playing for the Dreamcast is a game called Border Down, and it is hard as hell. It kicks your butt. It's basically a shooter where if you die, the game actually gets more difficult. But the levels get shorter. It's not a bullet hell per se, but kind of plays like one if you're not careful. Also, other games I like to play. Recently, I've been playing Ace Combat 7. The DLC for it just came out with all these classic planes throughout the series, and I love Ace Combat. I grew up playing Ace Combat.
I think that's it for the questions.
Okay.
Well, I did want to see if we could expand upon the Elder Scrolls 6 a little bit. What kind of things are you hoping for that game?
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't given much thought into what Elder Scrolls 6 would present, because I guess I'm just more focused on the here and now. But if anything, I would definitely some more fleshed out quest lines. And that reminds me. Do you remember the Civil War quest line in Skyrim?
Yes.
And how lackluster that was? I don't want any of that in the next Elder Scrolls game. Basically, what I want is more fleshed out quest lines and stories. Things that feel complete, feature rich, and don't cut short.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you on that. So, then that leads me to a very important question.
Sure.
Imperial or Nord?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be crucified again. Do you really have to ask that question? It's such a highly politicized environment we live in. I'm not trying to piss it. You're going to put me on a cross. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Hey, I'll take the first leap. Skyrim is for the Nords.
Imperial forever. That's it.
So I just felt like, a lot of people get uncomfortable when I ask that question. And I was like, it's just a video game, calm down. Anyway, I think that's it for the interview. Do you have anything you want to ask me, or
Well, I do want to put out a general statement to anyone's listening.
please?
Okay, I apologize if I don't sound very well. This is my first time doing this sort of thing, so if I sound super rambly, my bad. But I just want to say to anyone who's seen my mods, who's given constructive feedback, who's uploaded screenshots, I just want to tell you thank you. Just thank you. You know, you have no idea what that means to me. To see all this love and praise and criticism when it's especially warranted to help me improve, and just thank you.
All right. Well, very nice. Thank you for doing this interview with me.
No problem, dude.
This is actually the first one I did live. Well, recorded. I had initially tried to do one with Nisa. Almost talked him into a voice chat, but he didn't feel like his English was up to it. And,
I understand.
Go ahead, please.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we can wrap this up at the end. Just I do have one more statement to make, but
Go ahead.
Okay. Nisi-kun, if you're out there, it's your buddy Kaufman. I just want to say I love you and I miss you. I hope to see you soon.
and Nisa, if you're listening, answer your damn messages. And that's all I have. So, alrighty. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording right now. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed the interview. It was quite a bit longer than what you just heard, but I had to cut out a lot of it because it was mostly just us shooting the breeze and chit-chatting about various things that had very little to do with the interview or the mod. Now, I found Kaufman to be quite a personable chap, even if he is pro-imperial. Sorry, I had to do that. I also want to thank everyone that contributed questions, and I hope you got your answers. Now it's time for the portion of the review where I give you my thoughts on the mod itself and criticisms, if any. Now, Kaufman himself stated that he wanted to create this mod in the style of Nisa Tanaka, and he has without a doubt in my mind achieved this goal. I do, however, think he underestimates himself quite a bit. He can deny it all day long, but in my opinion, he not only has a great deal of talent, but a lot of potential as an armor mod creator. If you look at the individual pieces, you can see each part was meticulously created and put together with an eye for detail. This allows the player to mix and match armor components and have every part look like it fits without clipping into other parts or into the character. Now, a long time ago, I asked Nisa Tanaka, well, actually it was a question from somebody else, where his creativity for his bikini armors came from, and his reply was that it was an effort to make the armors look somewhat plausible. Not an exact quote, but close enough for this review. Anyway, in this sense, I believe Kaufman is at very least on par with his idol. As far as the armor's performance goes, you saw in the combat clips that it did really well. I usually kit my characters out in heavy armor, so I was quite impressed with how well a light armor protected my character May in battle. Now, I do want you to keep a couple things in mind, though. One being is that my character has maxed out smithing skills, and I use a pair of enchanted smithing gloves to enhance it even further, so all the pieces you saw in the clips were of legendary quality. The other thing is that I have something similar for enchanting, and in fact I enchanted every piece of that armor to protect my character from elemental damage and boosted her healing. Even then, as you saw from the clips with all the vampires, I was having such a hard time that I had to resort to spamming healing potions a couple times to avoid dying. Now, I deliberately chose this particular dungeon because the author of that mod, it's called Hammet's Dungeon Pack, by the way, very highly recommended, makes his dungeons a great deal more challenging than vanilla gameplay, and I thought this would be a very good test for the Dragonscale. I believe it was, and it did a great job of protecting my character. I'm just going to come out and say it. I highly recommend that you go out, download this mod, try it out, just to see what I have been talking about. Kaufman really did an outstanding job with it, and the effort that he put into its creation is clearly shown. If you do download it and you like it as much as I have, be sure to endorse it and vote it up for File of the Month. Now, that's it for the review, and I hope you found this video both informative and enjoyable. If so, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Once again, I'm your host, Porterhouse, and I will see you all at the next review.